Solar Cycle 25. It'll be fun, they say. Closed captioning for the Minganese is provided by Kilo 8 Go Quebec. What's up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8 Papa Zulu November, a Ham Radio Adventure guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything adventure radio and tornado chasing. It's Shenanigan Day, and we're going to have a good stream unless Dan gets swept away. Before we let Dan talk, because he might not even make it after this intro, but we'll thank the Patreons, because Dan wants to thank them just as much as I do, because they're absolutely awesome people, and we all know that if Dan lands in a county anywhere near him, one of them Patreons will take him in. He'll be good to go. Also, big shout out to the YouTube members. Still great to see another rover over there. I'd like to get a few more rovers over there to make it look a little bit better. Also, the ever-changing board. Josh staying at the top, but lots of moving around. James Jenner jumps into the top 5. I know Chris Fox Sierra Zulu moved up a little bit. Uniform Delta Victor moved up a little bit. So shout out to all you guys for all the donations that you do. What's up, Dan?
It is nasty.
It's nasty.
Nasty outside. Matter of fact, let me show you. This is what I'm looking at right now. I'm smack dab in the middle of this thing. And it's shimmying and shaking outside, guys, and it's gonna get worse here overnight and into Monday and Tuesday. You got that tropical storm and hurricane up here, and while I still can, hello, Shenanigan Hour, as Uncle Terry called it. Hello, everybody in chat. Andy Cowley, good to see you. Toby, always good to see you. Kent, Kilo 9 Alpha Echo, our Fox Sierra Zulu antenna gurus in the house. The Bang Bang Duca, Alabama. Good to see you, buddy. We'll see you here in a couple weeks. Brent, November 4 Bravo Delta Whiskey, always good to see you. Whiskey 8 JES Radio. Sandy, hello. Loudmouth from East Tennessee, Whiskey 0 Charlie Golf Charlie is in the house, and this is what I got coming up Florida to meet me the next couple of days. Right now, it's nasty outside.
Well, you know what? I hope when it comes through, it wipes out the current propagation that we have and brings back, maybe brings back the bottom of the solar cycle, so it'll be better than the top is.
Gonna wipe out something, that's for sure.
Because I'll tell you what, it really sucks out. This whole year, 2024, as a whole, the propagation has just absolutely sucked. So I don't know what's going on with this crap anymore.
Brent has a really good idea. I should turn my amp on, face this thing southwest, and just drive the storm away.
You could. You could just sit there over and over in your mic saying, whip.
I got I got the Rose family the other night doing that. Liz was out activating. They all called from the house, and they were saying stand by for the next one, and they passed it to the next kid and the next kid and the next kid. But she had a hellacious pileup. This is right during the late shift rollover, and so in between kids, I went quit. And she said, I hear you in there, Dan. Stand by.
Now,
I
now,
love it.
now, now, how would you feel if they did that to you and just went, no, no?
Well, then I would think it was somebody else, actually.
Yeah, you would. You
No.
would. But if they were doing that, it'd be kind of hard. Just designed a 25-watt hiker for you G90 guys.
Very
So,
nice.
for the little people like PP Man, he just designed a hiker for you guys. Chris, I actually got mine in the mail yesterday. I was going to take it out today, but I was not going to waste a new antenna on the bands of the day because I'm sure it would have disappointed me because I would have thought man, this antenna just sucks. But no, it's just the band. So I left it for a better day. I'm going to make sure it's a good. Anytime I take out a new antenna, I like to make sure the bands are already good because if you go out on a day like today and play with a new antenna, you're going to be like, man, this thing is junk.
That's what happened to me the first time I got my Eagle one. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Listen, the bands were so bad. Terry was only able to work me twice on the same band instead of four times.
We went out Saturday and I did 3 parks. 2 of them were new to me over in deep southwest Georgia, right in the corner. But we were the thunderstorms were chasing us all day. I mean, we do a park and then it started to pour, and then we drive in the rain to the next park. We do a park and it's starting to pour. I maybe got like 20 or 30 at each park. The bands were just crap. Except for that Charlie Golf Charlie guy who come in like 65 over, knocked the S meter over to the other VFO of the radio. It was crazy.
So I'll tell you, it's been horrible. But this guy right here, I don't know what he does. I don't know what he uses, but he's got some kind of magic wand. It doesn't matter if the propagation works or not. He's going to come in at 40 over no matter what. So if you're brave enough to stick your head down to that radio because you're trying to pull somebody out and you leave your head there when you say QRZ and he comes through, this guy's gonna hurt you.
November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo.
Between him and Chris, I've learned anytime I'm trying to pull out a weak station, before I say QRZ, to pull my head back from that radio because they'll put a hurting on you.
I'm gonna drop the link to our Discord in the chat because I'm just about to mention it. Kyle Alpha 0 Zanzibar put a public service announcement in the Huntsville Hamfest channel. If you have cabin 1, 2, or 12 at Monsanto for Huntsville, you might want to call the state park and get an update on the construction. I know they're doing construction to the cabins. Cabins 1, 2, or 12. Call the park and get an update and make sure your cabin is still available when you reserved it. They are doing construction for the cabins. Thank you, Kyle. K3 FAZ in the chat. Good to see you.
You know what? It's funny that Steve just chatted in the chat because I was asking about him the other day. He's not being as active as he used to be, and I'm gonna call you out, Steve. I need you in the log more, buddy. The bands are bad, and you got a good signal. You're gonna have to get back active like you used to be. I used to count on him all the time, so we're gonna have to get him back active again, Steve. And another shout out I'm gonna give. I got some pictures today on my phone. Steven's out on his Dude Wipes and Dreams tour. he's he's put in 1,400 miles since Wednesday, and he's on the Dude Wipe Trail right now. And
Oh my
I feel
god.
sorry for his girlfriend because she's downwind. She's riding on the back of that motorcycle, and she's downwind from him. But
The
yeah,
dude
shout out
white
to Steven on the Dude Wipes and Dreams Trail. I warned him he was making shenanigans for his comment earlier.
Oh, that is great. We definitely need to turn that into a POTA reference. The
Mhm.
Dude Wipes and Dreams Trail. Yes, sir.
you, you, that's funny. Maybe that's what we'll call my bike ride, my bike rove.
There you go.
Make a special QSO card. Dude Wipes and Dreams bike rove.
Oh man.
See there, Steve. I tell the truth. Dog, I done told you. I've been looking for you.
I saw him spotted earlier. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. He was in Colorado.
Yeah, I think he was struggling this morning too to get some contacts. It's been pretty rough.
Oh man, when I got up this morning, it was crazy stupid, like bad. Like normally on CW at 8 in the morning, I can hit anything that's on the spot page on 40 meters. But it was geez, it was rough.
I think when I went out earlier, me and Sherry on 2 bands got 25 contacts, and then I did some CW after, so I got a little more than that. But 25 contacts for the 2 of us on 2 different bands.
That's
I
crazy.
did get all the PZN people, so that was important. But that's not.
Juliet Echo Sierra said he'll be on the road Wednesday activating. It's been a while since he activated. Hopefully I'll be able to get you if I still have an antenna. It all depends on what these winds do.
Listen, you gotta watch that guy. He's bad at Caesar's Creek to cause all kinds of radio interference. So
Yeah.
he'll organize like 20 operators on the air and just take over the park. You go watch that, John. He's rough like that.
I might want to call Chris tonight and just make sure he has a couple of NFEDs in an emergency box set for overnight delivery, depending on what happens this Monday and Tuesday. I plan on taking them down though. I'm gonna take my wires down, or at least lower them. Maybe tonight, maybe in the morning.
Listen, John. I got to blame somebody for that. I'm not going to take the blame for it.
Oh, Brent used the FSZ NFED this morning, hanging from a 40-foot spider beam. Awesome pole there. Activating on a boat ramp. I had somebody do that to me at Seminole State Park. They asked if it was a fishing rod because I wasn't really close to the water either. I was probably 75 yards away from the edge of the water, and somebody asked me if it was a fishing pole. I said no. Nope.
So I know what your answer is going to be, Dan. Dan, what's your ideal height for your infed?
The ideal height for my infed.
Yep.
Which end of it?
The high end.
Okay. About 80 feet. Really good.
Yeah. And the low end?
The low end, well, I mean, it depends on how long the infed is. If it's a 10 through 40, you can probably get the end of it. If you get that, you probably get it about 10 feet off the ground as a sloper. If it's a 10 through 80, you're not going to get it. I mean, you're going to have to do something else. You're going to have to do like an inverted L or something because it's still not high enough to get a full slope. But yeah, man, the higher the better. Come on. You just wait. You just wait that when I put the infed up in Huntsville, it's going to be up there like it was last year.
Look, I'm not saying that the higher the better. I'm just saying I don't have time for all that.
Oh yeah. Last year is when we first tested that 10 through 40 at Huntsville from for FSZ.
And that was the first test for for the original antenna.
Yep. And the tall end of it in a sloper configuration was probably up 50 feet, and the other end was probably about eye level for me, so 5'10", 5'9" off the ground. Yeah.
And the coax level should have been a lot higher because people stole it on me.
It's been a while since we told that story too. James was luckily just done doing a soda activation on CW, and I walked up because I was good. It was, what was that, Sunday? No, Monday morning. Sunday morning, Monday morning, whatever it was. The day we were leaving, so I went to tear the antenna down, and I go and unplug the coax while he was still listening to the radio out in the back porch.
John says he's going to be doing a 3-fer and
A 3-fer, a 2, and a 5-fer in Arkansas.
I don't know if that's a 3-fer, a 2-fer, and a 5-fer, or 2 3-fers and a 5-fer in Arkansas. But either way, a lot of furs coming your way from Whiskey 8 Juliet Echo Sierra.
Might as well just combine them and make a 7-fer. And that's the way it works, right?
The famous Arkansas 5-fer. I've worked it quite a few times.
Yeah.
Park to park, anyway. It's worked me more or less, but
Terry said he can't go that high at home, and Terry always sounds good. I know he has a 160. Terry, how high is your 160? Be curious to know that, because I've worked you on 160 a couple times. You always sounded great way down low.
So I know this is Shenanigans, and we're still talking awful lot of radio, Dan. But I think you would be the person to ask this. I don't even want to know what you're laughing about.
About my what?
What are you laughing about?
I was going to make a comment on Terry, because I was going to ask him how low, because he sounded good down low, and I was going to say he sounded good down low with them apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur. 50 feet. Yeah, that's a good height.
Okay, well, Terry, I'm going to tell you, 50 feet's going to be fine, because everybody always brags on how good they can hear Sherry from her house, and Sherry's is only about 31 feet up, maybe 30 feet, because it's been over a little. But anyway, what I was going to ask, Dan, since you're Mr. Ground Wave Antenna,
oh Lord,
will it work if it's underground?
Ooh, the radiating element underground.
Radiate what?
Are you asking me if the radiating element, if it's underground, will it still work?
Yes.
Sure, it'll work. I don't know
not far. I'm talking this. I'm talking QRP underground.
I don't know, which is interesting. Depends on frequency, I would assume, because I'm just talking really out of my butt here, but I would think the lower the frequency, the better it would work. Because and my reasoning behind thinking like that is the VLF stations back in the day that send the very low frequency, slow data baud rate, the emergency action messages to submarines and stuff like that. Those antennas are underground, as far as I know. Anyway. So I would say the lower the frequency, it would work better if or when the antenna is on or close to underneath the ground. But I don't know for sure. That's a good question.
So Andy says yes in the comments. Is that yes to my question, or is that yes to something in the chat, Andy?
I don't know. Does anybody in the chat have everybody chime in? What do you think? I mean,
does anybody in the chat have a ground loop antenna that they've got barely under the ground? I'm talking barely under the ground, guys. We're talking I'm talking about taking a butter knife and digging a little trench and then covering it up.
I know that works awesomely for receive, because that's how I have mine, but I've never transmitted.
No, I don't want to transmit. I just want to receive.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a transmit antenna. Oh,
no.
That's fine. Oh, yeah, perfect.
I'm just talking about received. All I'm using it for is receive.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
want to receive. I want to receive. I said that wrong. I want to receive.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. No problem. No problem whatsoever. That's how I got mine.
Okay.
Yes, sir. You can also take those little biodegradable garden spikes and just spike it down and just let the grass naturally grow over it.
So well, if I do that, the lawnmower is not going to suck it up. Because
Now,
now, mind
how
you,
mower do you got? If you got like a
uh,
Gravely commercial mower that has a lot of upward suction, it might pull those spikes out. But if you got a
I'm,
regular,
mind you, I'm doing this at Sidewalk Sherry's house. So
you might want to bury it.
that's what I said. That's why I'm thinking bury it.
But no, that'll be perfect for a receive loop because that's how I got mine. Just they're
Because
probably about maybe an inch below the surface of the ground. And I've tried it both ways. Right now, they're kind of underground and they still work well. I've also tried them laying on top of the grass and they work well. I've also taken little pieces of PVC pipe about 6 inches long and suspended it about 6 inches above the grass, and all of them work fine.
I don't even know what that means, PP man. You're activating the Canadian Tire on the air for real.
Oh, he might have started his little voyage north.
But the only thing I can think that means is they have so many parks up there, they run out of reasons to have them. So now when people blow their tire and it shoots off a piece of rubber, that's now a park there.
Steve has 68 radials for his 43-foot vertical just beneath the sod, and you won't have a problem with it. So, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing I plan on doing is putting the radials for an Eagle One up there too. Because right now, I mean, the Infade does great, but I'd like to also have a vertical there.
Mm-hmm.
But 68 verticals, I don't know if I want to dig 68 trenches with my butter knife.
A lawn edger will do the same thing. Get you a metal bladed edger and just run it. You can make little trenches. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I thought you were talking about underground to transmit with before.
No. I'm not worried about transmitting. I got plenty of transmit power.
That
Like
would be fun to do, though.
here's the thing. If she can hear it, she can hunt it.
Yeah.
And there's no amp here, but that's what I'm saying. If she can hear it, she can hunt it.
Yeah. Terry said use your goat to pull it. You can get the little.
Terry, the goat just eats the grass. It won't dig holes.
That is kind of true, I guess.
Speaking of Terry, Terry went out. We activated at Horse Jaco yesterday, and then Terry went out to eat with us afterwards, and I learned something interesting about Terry. So if you mention tossing salad around Terry, he automatically wants salami. No lie, he automatically wants salami.
Oh my gosh. 160 in the field, Brent does. I do too. I have everything I need in my truck to do 160 using the Eagle One, but I don't do it unless somebody asks me to do it because it's just a pain to set up.
So I know how you do yours, Dan. How much wire do you run off the top?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I measured it out and tuned it. The only problem is at that point, now the Eagle One is a resonant 160 antenna, and you're not going to work anything else. You take that wire off. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't remember off.
Okay, so you measured it out and actually made it resonant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
The Q is pretty low. Don't get me wrong. You still need a tuner if you want to move around the band. I just tuned it for like the dead center of 160, and the tuner will take up.
See, now I wouldn't go to all of that trouble if I was going to do it. I would probably just add another 30 foot of wire or something because I can tune 160 just fine with the Eagle One, and I've got 80 some contacts with just straight.
That's
So
crazy.
if I had another 30 foot of wire, I know I can tune fine.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, the Q is extremely
Really
small, and it's iffy with just straight Eagle One. I can tell you that.
It's crazy when you think about that too, because if people in the chat don't know, he uses a manual tuner. I use an auto tuner.
Yeah, his tuner won't do that stuff.
And no, it will not. No, there's no way on a 31-foot wire that my tuner is going to hit 160. But a manual tuner, you can get it
But
close.
for all you new age hams that don't even understand what that manual tuner is, imagine having the tuner of a G90 for a big radio.
Yeah.
It's kind of that cool. But you actually have to turn the knobs and do all the work yourself.
And imagine wanting to get something tuned so good, you take a manual tuner, then you feed it in to an auto tuner, and then you feed it into your radio's tuner. We've done that.
Yeah, we've done that. So here's the thing with the manual tuner, it's a lot of work to get it down exactly the way you want it. So typically, if I've got a piece of wire or anything, let's say 18-1, I'll take that manual tuner and I'll tune it down to just under 3-1, and then I'll touch it up with my internal tuner on my radio.
Yeah.
So Dan was activating with me, and I wasn't thinking about that, and I sat there and I played with it and I tuned it down. I think it was for 160, wasn't it?
It was either that or 80.
It may have been 80. I don't know. But whatever it was, I tuned it down to a little under 3. And I said, all right, tune your radio. He's like, what do you mean? We plugged your tuner in. And I forgot he has to run. He's using an 891, so he's running an external tuner. So we took and run another jumper into his tuner and ran it at the radio and tuned it the rest of the way.
That's right.
Yeah. And every other YouTuber right now is cringing, saying them guys are idiots. They didn't make no contacts like that, but we actually crushed 80 meters with it.
I mean, I could probably get my auto tuner to tune 160, but the problem is with the manual tuner, you said it, you get it down to, I imagine on 160 with a 31-foot wire. I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say the best you got was probably like 4-1, which you can still run. I could probably do that with my auto tuner, but you'd have to program it, the thresholds, because if you key up and you talk and it's 4-1, it's going to try to retune itself automatically.
No,
so
actually,
you'd have to stop that part.
Actually, I won't run. I won't anything that I tune. I have to get down right under 3 because my internal will do 3 and below. And if I can't hit my internal tuner and top it off, I won't run it.
And that's a gripe. Let me get on a box for a minute.
I'm not a SWR snob, but I will not run 3.1.
That's a gripe I have about major radio manufacturers. Most of their tuners are 3-1. Now, if you look at Elecraft or Shegu, they can tune a guardrail. It doesn't matter. Why can't ICOM, Yaesu, the other big manufacturers put something in their radios that is a little better than 3-1? I'm not talking about tuning 40-1. I mean, that's ridiculous. What the Elecraft can do and the Zygu, it's dangerous, to be honest with you, because I've forgot to hook my antenna up before on my KX2 and it tuned my coax. So, I mean, so me particularly, I don't like a tuner quite that damn good, but make the range a little bit better. 6-1 be fine. Just something so a lot of people can just use their internal radio tuners and have like a multi-band dipole or something like that. They don't have to rely on an external tuner. And before anybody says it, I know it doesn't make the antenna any better. It just makes your radio happy. Your antenna is still crap at that frequency it has to tune, but it just makes your radio happy. I just think the major manufacturers do a little better than 3-1 nowadays. But that's me. And, yeah, Kyle, you're probably right. Cost of the tuner. Yeah. But, if I'm going to pay $4,000 for a radio. I wanted to
Yeah.
tune more than 3-1. Crazy.
They sure ain't saving us with no cost.
Yeah, because we got to buy a damn tuner to go with it. And when you get up, I mean, if you're just talking about POTA and stuff like that, it's not a problem. You can get, 100-watt tuners, 200-watt tuners for relatively cheap. And the reason why I use a 200-watt tuner on POTA is because a 200-watt tuner will be rated for, 100-watt CW, 100-watt digital. If you run a 100-watt tuner, it's not going to be rated for a full 100-watt digital. You might fry that. Trust me how I know. But when you're talking about home stations, it's really hard to find a good tuner for legal limit that can handle 1,500 watts with some peaks in there. So call it 1,600 watts. That's reasonably priced. Most of them are expensive as hell. And if they just open up the factory radios to make them tune more than 3-1, 6-1, 10-1, somewhere in that range, a lot of people wouldn't have to shell out buku bucks for an external tuner. That's my rant. That's all I got for today.
Yeah, I'd love to have a little bit better than the 3 to. Dude, if I could get a 5-1 on my POTA radio, I would be tickled to death. Because, I mean, for example, most of the infeds I run won't tune 30 meters, okay? But when I say they won't tune it at every park. Some parks you go to and the ground conditions will be different and they'll tune it. And then the next one you may go to and the ground conditions are different and they won't tune it. But if that thing was like a 5-1, it would tune it at every park.
Yeah.
And 30 meters is an important band to me. Because it's a great band.
It really depends on the Q of your antenna too, thickness of the wire, all that technical.
Yeah, it does.
But my V that I got in the air right now, the upper end of 160, it'll tune it damn near flat. If you start moving down in 160, like lower than like 1.8, 1.9, you start getting lower in the band, it won't tune it at all. The Q is just so narrow on 160 on that antenna.
And that's that extra wire because when I'm playing with the straight eagle one in my manual tuner, getting into the sideband portion of it is really, really, really hard. But I can always get into the CW or the FT8 portion of it.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yes, sir. But yeah, they just need to make them better. It's 2024. Yeah. That's right. What really grinds my gears? You know what really grinds my gears? These antenna tuners. Yeah, make them better than 3-1, guys. Come on. I mean, it's 2024. What does Kyle? Let us know what is the Tuner Genius from Flex Radio? What's the range on that? Or the internal tuner on the newer Flexes? What's the range on that? I'm gonna go out on a limb here and still say it's going to be about 3-1. Maybe the external Tuner Genius is going to be better. I hope, but still, I mean, the internal tuner on the Flexes that are built in, I'd imagine it's still 3-1.
Well, I mean, if you've got the money to buy the Flex, that those people don't care anyway. People like Kyle with his big war buck. I mean, he runs all those Chinese sweatshops and makes all that money.
That's right. All those DX sweatshops. All right, so the internal Flex. All right, so the internal Flex tuner is still 3-1, just like most any other radio. I'm going to look at the Tuner Genius from Flex. The Tuner Genius XL is what they're calling now. All right, so the Tuner Genius XL is a $2,500 tuner. Okay, I lied to you. $2,499 plus tax, tag, and title. But I'm going to find. All right. So the Tuner Genius XL, $2,500 tuner, legal limit tuner, $2,500 friggin' dollars. Can only tune 10-1. Now, if you think about it, 10 to 1 is a pretty wide dang range. I mean, if the actual antenna that you're using is that far out, you probably need to do a little work on your antenna, but still, that's what I'm saying. It's so hard when you get into the legal limit range of things. It's hard to find a good legal limit tuner with a good range for a decent price. I mean, you're gonna shell out some bucks. Yeah, exactly, Terry. It's just making the radio happy. That's all a tuner's doing. It's not gonna make your antenna any less of a piece of crap. It's just making your radio think your antenna is less than a piece of crap, right? So yeah. But the tuner I run is the MFJ 998. That's the legal limit, the most reasonably priced one I can find. It works. It works. It works. If I win the lottery, I'll get the whole flex system. But maybe Kyle will donate me his. But yeah, that's my rant for shenanigans. I'm sorry it was radio related because normally we don't talk radio stuff here on.
I know, like we've made it through like 37 minutes of shenanigans and talked about nothing but radio. People's going to start to think this is a radio channel, Dan. What are you doing?
We need to stop that. Well, Kyle, if you're still waiting on your 8,000, you should just give me your one of your. Do you have the 64 or the? What do you got now? I want something with 2 spectral capture units. So don't send me nothing free that doesn't have 2 SCUs in it. I'll send it back. Yeah.
That's the big thing because I'll tell you, my magic manual tuner is an MFJ. But I can tell you what I'm going to do when it fails. I'm going to smack it as hard as I can and start working again, just like it did last time.
It fixed the last one. You're right.
It fixed the one I'm running.
I did.
Somewhere I have video of that. The day it got fried when the power surge hit that campground. When the antenna tuner when it's supposed to go in like this. When you key up, it'd go out like this.
Look like that. Look like that little meter on Ghostbusters when they walk into a room.
and it's really funny because it was my dad's tuner. I couldn't throw it away. I stuck it on a shelf, and I bought another MFJ. It was bigger, and then I go to that's right. That's right. And I got a story for that too, Kyle. But so I got that other MFJ, and then I went to Dayton that year, and the YouTubers were using my rig, and the next thing I know, they're like, "Your radio's way out of tune, way out of tune." I tuned it, but why are y'all touching things? And I don't know what they done, but they destroyed the tuner. So they knocked something loose. I don't know. So I went back to the house after that, and I looked at that little tiny tuner, and I took my hand and I smacked it. I mean, hard. My hand hurt after I smacked it. I was like, "You should work." And then later that night, I hooked it up and it worked, and it's never failed since. And I took the one the tubers broke to my local bud that likes to repair stuff at the club, and I said, "Here, Tim, fix this for me." He brought it back to the next meeting, said, "You're good to go," and it still works too. So that's exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah. Before this one I got now, the 998, I had a LDG AT1000, and it worked great until one day I was trying to get what was it? Something in Indonesia, I think. Geez, I think it was like on FT8 in Indonesia, and I didn't realize in my brain that if your tuner says 1,000 watts on it, more than likely that's the sideband wattage, not necessarily like full continuous duty digital, or CW. So yeah, I fried that one. Let the magic smoke out. I didn't see the smoke though. I smelled the smoke, and I didn't
What
smell it right then. It was like for the next week or two, I was having trouble, tuning certain bands, and I would talk on it, and as I would talk, and I guess the internals of the tuner would heat up, I would start to smell that very familiar burnt electronics smell, which I'm sure everybody in the chat has smelled before. And I was like, "Where is this smell coming from?" And I never could pinpoint it until one day my tuner just decided it wasn't gonna tune nothing. I said, "Oh, it's probably that."
Hey,
God.
I actually have somewhere over there. I have a manual tuner that
My problem with the manual tuner is the way I hunt is so intertwined and automatic the way stuff happens. Like I push a button on the spots page, it changes my rig, it changes my amp, and it sends the correct frequency to the tuners and everything else. All I got to do is just tap the PTT button to get my tuner to cycle, and it has memories. So the more I do manual tunes on frequency, it stores those in memory. So when I go to 7269 and I tap the tune button, it doesn't have to tune, find the match. It's in memory. It just goes, okay, you're there. So it sets the inductance and the capacitance right where you need it. All that happens automatically. So me having a manual tuner would be, oh my God, that'd be so annoying to me. Now, for a POTA activation, I could do a manual tuner because I'm not changing frequencies every 5 seconds. You know what I mean?
so a couple of things. First, thanks for the super chat, and buddy, you're welcome to do it. I don't know if she's in the chat or not though. And secondly, we got this, and I brought that up because I wanted to go ahead and congratulate her on passing her tech in Huntsville this year.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
And for the KFC. For sure.
and for the KFC.
That's right.
Because it's finger licking good. That means when I go to use the radio, I can just do like this, and Dan will be licking it off my fingers. And I can use the radio again.
Kyle, I do have Node-RED, buddy. You help me. Kyle is a Node-RED genius, by the way, and he's helped me a lot with Node-RED. I do run Node-RED, but problem is it's not going to help me with a manual tuner.
I need Kyle to write a new Node-RED program where it automates my whole life, like everything. Like it wakes me up, it drives me to the parks, it it finds the frequency that no vids can use, like everything.
Good point. Here, you can set a range, like say, okay, I want my manual tuner here on 20 meters, and just use your internal tuner on your radio to touch it up. But my problem is, to be honest, I'm a lazy hunter. I don't want to reach up here and grab a knob. I don't want to reach over here and grab a knob to do anything. I want to be able to click and talk. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But no, for a POTA activation, I mean, I could use a manual tuner because, like I said, I'm not moving frequencies that much unless somebody runs in from the other side of the house and go, "This frequency's been in use for 20 years."
Don't even get me started on those people.
Yeah.
Terry and Yankee Victor Delta at lunch the other day started talking about ailments. And I said, listen, there's an 80-meter net for this. Y'all need to shut up.
Yeah. All right. Don't drink too much. See you in a couple of weeks for your awesome cheeseburgers.
Hey Kyle, will I see you in like an hour?
Probably.
Maybe he'll answer. Anyway,
Yeah, what else? All right. So yeah, I mean, it's Sunday. I don't know why we're talking about radio all hour, but
A whole hour, like we're 46 minutes in, and we haven't. I mean,
we should really. I think
talked
next
through all
Sunday.
the
I think next Sunday we should invite Kyle so we can talk about why Chipotle is no good anymore.
talk about what
Why Chipotle is no good anymore.
you know, Dan. I think you should sit down and have an interview him and
Yeah,
find out exactly why Chipotle is no
I think the topic of how Chipotle has screwed over Kyle, we can stretch that to an hour-long episode. I think we can milk that out, make it an hour long for sure. See you, buddy.
good. But see, now that's the thing. When I take my infeds out to the park, I don't even pull out a tender. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no need for that, and that's why sometimes I like to use I like to use it, but when I when I just want to activate and I want to activate fast and I want to be able to go to whatever bands I want to go to, I'm going to use it. I'm not going to use an infed. And I'll still say it. I'll still say this once again, and I'll get all kinds of hate mail because I do every time I'll say it. I don't care what infed you have. The Eagle One will outperform it on 40 meters.
Oh yeah, the Eagle One on 40 meters it's brutal. Yeah, that's the best I can describe it, man. It's just yeah.
Eric says Chipotle was like $18 for a burrito and drink last night. Buddy, Taco Bell's like $18 for a burrito and a drink anymore. Everything.
Do you remember? All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. We got 12 minutes left.
I
And
know. I know where you're going.
this,
You're going
and
49, 69, 99, ain't you?
and this is not even radio related. Let me just lean back here and get ready for this shenanigans here. You remember back when Taco Bell, you could go there with $5 in your pocket and feed a family of 12.
Dude,
It's
I
nuts.
can, I can remember partying back in the high school days, and whoever passed out first, we would take their card or their wallet, and we would go to Taco Bell in my buddy's van, and we would take and spend $20 at Taco Bell, and we would have like 40 bags of food.
You could eat for a week.
It was something like 59, 79, 99 for their whole menu.
Same way of Crystals, White Castle. If you're not a Crystals dude, you could. It used to be you walk in there $20. You could eat from Saturday to Saturday.
See now
Right.
I just lost respect for you if you've been eating the White Castle. It's like taking hamburger seasoning and putting it on chopped onions.
That's pretty much what you're right.
It's just an onion, guys. There's not burger in there.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. You know what? I'm about to stop waiting on what I'm waiting on, Mike, and just do that anyway because I'm about to give up on the idiot that I'm waiting on. And for those of you who know, you know, but I'm starting to think it's not going to happen. So it,
Tell me that's not the government in one sentence right there. The government gives me $3,000 to pay my rent. The government owns my house and charges me $3,600. Yeah. Oh my god, that's a racket there, isn't it? Tell you what.
and the bad thing is the government's like, all right, this is $600 to a civilian. If they're military, it's 3,600.
That's right. America. That's right. Welcome to America.
Everything's got stupidly priced. It's outrageous.
I'm waiting for somebody to drop there. You remember
Anyway,
when
thanks,
gas was
thanks for the
82
super
cents
chat,
a
Mike,
gallon?
and Lost River is coming very soon. I'm really trying to wait for like the bands to be good for a couple of days because I really don't want to go to Lost River. And there he says, I think Lost River's $100.
Oh,
Terry, you put $100. You put $100 in a buy me a coffee right now, and I bet you see it spotted tomorrow.
did you just say if somebody does $100 buys you? Hold on, I can talk. Wait for it. If somebody doesn't buy you a coffee for $100, you'll go to Lost River tomorrow. Was that
I
what you
said
just
I
said?
bet you see it spotted tomorrow.
Oh, you said it'll get spotted tomorrow.
I never said that I would be the one doing it, but I said I bet you would see it spotted tomorrow.
Oh my hell, I can spot it from here.
No, somebody would actually be in the park activating.
I got a green screen and we can do it.
But it probably would be me because I'd be like, hey man, I'll give you $50 to go Lost River. Are you crazy?
Yeah. Brent says
There he says test spot.
Brent says he's looking forward to get back to when you know the bands are supposed to be bad. Yeah, right.
You know, somebody posted in the photo Facebook page, and it said something like, "We need more hunters during late shifts, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m." And I politely commented on there. I was like, used to be activators could go out and do that, but guess what? There's not enough of you hunters that stay up to hunt them for an activator to drive out at that time in the morning. It drives me insane because hunters will be like, "You need to go out and activate it. It's only 12 o'clock." Really? You're the only one up, buddy. Are you going to work me on 10 bands? Can you get me 10 bands to get this activated?
Did you see the post that somebody put on Facebook saying that was a rookie total rookie post or something like that? But how do you know when somebody spots themselves at a park? How do you know if they're really there? That was the post, and everybody's like, you don't, unless you live there and want to go roll up on them, you know.
Spot in 1810 and see if somebody knows if you're there or not.
All right.
It's funny, all jokes aside, people always thank me for the rare one when I do 1810. But believe it or not, 1810 is a rare part. If you wipe out all of my activations, 1810 is a rare part. I would bet there's not 10 activations in 1810 besides mine.
Yeah.
There might be.
Well, you got I don't know, how many QSOs do you got there now?
34,000ish.
Jesus. Let's see if you're on the leaderboard. 34,199. Good Lord. That's just ridiculous.
And there's people that don't have eagles at it.
I heard a rumor when you get to 50,000, your reward is like a new Honda or something.
It's a new Honda?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I guess I know where I'm camping at.
The correct answer for this is across the street.
It is in Logan, West Virginia. And Kenny, you have it in your log.
Chief Logan. A hop, skip, and a jump, literally.
Yeah, that's right. Eric says US 10919 is rare if you delete my activations.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Eric, who recently got his worked all states satellite. That's pretty amazing. That's the feat right there.
I'm surprised he got that before he got his worked all state CW. I know he's been working on that too.
So, without knowing CW.
Without knowing CW.
Yeah, you got to say it correct. Without knowing CW.
This is the most epic long troll I've ever seen in my life.
No, 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 no. I see where you're going with this toy Yoda. The Poda Yoda does not need a toy Yoda.
That's right. Toby needs that park.
I'm sure she does.
You
I
have
believe I can pull up a live stream. What this says differently, Toby.
he has satellite worked all states from Hawaii and Wisconsin. How about
That's really cool.
that? Is something else. Hey,
I
Ron's in the chat.
have satellites worked all blades of grass in my yard.
There you go.
It's kind of depressing because Eric posted an award the other day, and I was like, man, I really need to start that. And then I got to thinking, I was like, dude, do you know I bought my antenna for satellite working last year at Huntsville, and it's coming up on this year?
You did, didn't you? Yes.
I did.
You gonna run some satellites while we're there, out in the back deck?
You know, you never know. I might just do it.
Might be hard from the cabin though. There's a lot of tree cover.
You know what?
A little bit of.
I think I am going to take my satellite gear because Digital Rancher will be there, and I'm going to be like, look, dude, I want to make a satellite contact. You need to make it happen. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour. And first, I'll say, what you got coming up, Dan?
I got trying to. I'm gonna stay my butt strapped down and try not to get blown away from this hurricane that's coming. If you are in the panhandle of Florida, South Georgia, anywhere in the track of this thing, be safe. Going to be a lot of rain, not so much wind. The winds are forecasted between like 75 and 40 miles an hour, somewhere around in there here. The biggest problem is it seems to be a pretty slow mover. So there's going to be a lot of rain, which is going to soak the ground, for the lack of a better word. And there's going to be some trees coming down because of the rain. So be careful, take care of yourself, and stay out of the path of the storm. And hopefully everybody fares well. But other than that, I don't have much coming up this week. Just hanging on for the ride.
Absolutely, that's awesome stuff. Everybody, please be safe. For myself, you're expecting me to say that I'm ready to go out and do an early late shift, but you're going to be really sad because I have another live stream to do in about an hour, so I'm not going nowhere. I will possibly, very QRP possibly go out and do one after the next live stream, depending on the weather. The last 2 nights, the weather has kept me in the house. So there you go. Add 10 more. That's the way to do it, buddy.
Yeah.
So, but either Frank or Charlie is up next. And at 8 o'clock over on Jason 2.0, there will be a whole lot of YouTubers, including myself, talking about Huntsville. So hopefully we'll see you guys over there. 73, everybody. And thanks for the super chats.